Welcome back. So, sorry for the little technical issues. Back to you, Michael Osiagor. Okay, because of course I didn't hear you when you said the reason why you chose spoken word artistry. So, retract that.
Okay, so one of the best things that has happened to me as a person is the genre of spoken word poetry.
Okay.
Reason being that it's a nervous one to express yourself while hiding in plain sight. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. When we say hiding in plain sight, there is censorship of what one can say per time, and every country has their boundaries
Okay.
towards their artists, music-wise,
To say and
comedy-wise,
what not
can
to say.
say and all that. But then for us in the art space, especially in literary space, you can comfortably say things, hide them in a plain walk. People listen to what you say,
Okay.
but it takes time to digest and break down and unveil those hidden meanings in words.
Okay, so talking about expression, right?
Yeah.
Because personally, most times I feel like they overshare.
Overshare.
Let me explain why I said so. Because some of these people, most of the poem is like it has to do with emotions,
Okay.
what you've actually passed through.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
in as much as we know that people must have experienced that, and you as a spoken word artist, you just feel like you want to share, right?
Yeah.
You want to express yourself. You want people to like hear you and understand. I feel like most times they overshare personal issues, personal talk, because I watched a video
Okay.
and it's all this open mic kind of thing,
Yeah.
and the person picked up the mic and she was talking about relationship and what she has passed through. Okay,
Yeah.
so would you say, because it talks about expression,
Yeah.
would you say that when they come to express themselves, they bring in their ultimate best, even what they've actually gone through, private life and all that?
Now, one other thing that's important to give a concept to what you've just asked is this. Spoken word poets try as much as possible, especially those that are very professional in what they do,
Okay.
to embody characters.
Okay.
Yeah. So sometimes you would see someone express something so passionately, and you think that this person has gone through such situations, but sometimes it's far from truth or far from reality.
Okay.
So the ability to embody characters
Yeah.
is one unique thing in spoken word poetry. So I can, for one, go through your environment or go through the everyday environment,
Yeah.
and you see an angle that many people are not seeing, and then you just stay and absorb that reality. It can take you a while. You can just pause, look at this thing. People are not looking at it. People are not seeing this,
Yeah.
and you absorb this reality so much so that when you talk about it, someone feels that
It resonates with it.
yeah,
Okay, so because I'm so into this spoken word kind of thing, do you get?
yeah,
So
that's good.
what I want to ask now, do they get inspiration? Like, how do they get their inspiration? Because you just said, apart from them looking around the environment and you come to think, you come to like do your analysis in your brain, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. So my question now, do they, apart from getting inspiration, do they go ahead to research?
Yeah. Now, what makes most of the poems or poetry works live over the years is that ambience or that stimulation one has with reality. Okay, to give context, I would say, apart from research, spoken word poets go through some trainings which sometimes is called strategic foresighting.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Okay, strategic foresighting is of profession per
Yeah.
se, where one can look at something that has happened before, look at something that is happening now, and you tell categorically what will happen in the
Tomorrow.
future. It's just like soothsayers, people who can see the future. Yes. So that's one of the things in area where people can call it research,
Okay.
but more relatable term one would say is strategic foresighting, where you can categorically connect the dots and you make a statement that 10 years, 20 years, 50 years to come,
People can still resonate with it.
resonate with it.
Yeah.
For example, I can say one of the works that has lived time and time again is Chinua Achebe's Things Fall Apart.
Okay.
Yeah. Every single time people revisit that work, it's just as if it's new.
Okay.
It's as if he is currently living in our time and writing those pieces.
Yeah.
So that's the power of strategic foresighting, where you are looking at the reality right now. This is the things that are happening in my time. These things that are happening, what are the incidents
That could happen tomorrow.
that had brought these particular things that are happening now? Now, putting the ones that have happened before and what is happening now, you can categorically predict tomorrow. And when you pen down words with these insights, 100 years to come, people would look at your work and would be like, wow.
Okay, so can I also call spoken word artists, because it's an artwork, it's a craft, right? Can I also call them philanthropists? Did they go through philosophy courses?
Philanthropists and going through philosophy classes are two different things.
Okay.
Yeah, but what spoken word poets eventually go through are two different areas. The first area is mastery of words. Yeah, for you to be a spoken word poet, you need to understand language. Yeah, so the part of understanding language is where a spoken word poet can say something that ought to have put him or her in crisis.
Okay.
But they would say it so free and seamlessly, communicating the same meaning, and hence would not go through such situations. That's one of the things spoken word poets go through. Okay. Now, the other skill set that is needed for spoken word poetry is media literacy.
Okay.
Yeah, because when we are talking about media literacy, we are now looking at your perception to control the narrative. Because as a spoken word poet, you are in term to say, one can call you an advocate.
Yeah.
A human rights advocate. You're becoming a voice for those who are passing through situations to actually communicate. Now, if you don't understand media literacy, we can connect it to what people can really connect to, like the VDM movement that's currently happening. Yeah. So one can say something like the young man who has embodied the VDM character now that everybody's following.
Yeah.
He can actually say something, but if he doesn't have the concept or conceptual grasp of media literacy, most of the things he would say would put him into trouble.
True.
Yeah, but when you understand the fact or the dynamics or the elements of media literacy, it helps you say things that is hard to crack, but you say it seamlessly that people accept this bitter truth and also share your point of view without hanging you for saying those things.
Yeah.
Because in our society, there are things you would say, you put yourself into trouble. Yeah.
Okay, but do you think that spoken word is as powerful as activists speaking for Nigerians?
Art form in its entirety is advocacy.
Okay.
Now, niched down to spoken words poetry, this is an art form that is representing advocacy in one particular unit. So it can also fly as advocacy.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, doing it calls for some peculiar skills. Yeah. Doing it calls for some peculiar skills. That's why spoken words poetry is so unique and hard to get into. Yeah, you can easily do music.
Okay.
Yeah, you can easily do music.
You can easily do acting.
You can easily do acting. You can easily do comedy. But when you are narrowing down now to spoken word poetry or many of these literary works, the requirement becomes higher
For you.
for you as an individual.
Okay. So, like, do you think there's risk to this spoken word artist, especially when it comes to talking about Nigerians? Why are you laughing?
Yeah. Life is filled with risk.
Okay.
Now, there's a saying that has been going around that's now
Yeah.
even a cliche in our contemporary Nigeria, where you say you die. If you don't say it,
You still die.
you still die.
Okay.
Yeah. But a unique skill that spoken word poets do have that has given them this power, per se, to express themselves without putting themselves into trouble is the skill of critical thinking and word mastery. Yeah. Word mastery comes to play where you say something, especially word mastery in this time, I'm talking about language, understanding language. Now, people, because we're in the third world settlement, there are things one would say you might think it's for its literal meaning, but it actually means a different thing.
Okay.
Yeah. So when a spoken word poet understands and masters the craft of language, he can comfortably take you through a lot of things. You on the open end would enjoy it,
Yeah.
but the people who get the meaning are those who would sit down
And think.
and think.
Okay.
And it happens, even in comedy, there are some comedians that are good in these skills too, where they would say something today and you start seeing the meaning of this
Tomorrow.
comedy 10 years, 5
After.
years after. So
Yeah.
that's what saves most of the spoken word poets from getting themselves into trouble. And one clear example one can always relate to this is a book written by George Orwell,
Okay.
The Animal Farm.
Okay.
Yeah, when you go through the book, it talks about a particular government and all the bureaucracies
Okay.
that comes with that era. Now, not to dive into specifics, he decided to use animal figures to express this point of view
Yeah.
than using human beings.
Okay.
So that's why if you come to spoken word gathering where you have open mics, you see people using figures of speeches
to talk.
to talk. Yes, so they will talk about the sun, talk about
The
the
moon.
moon and all that and all that.
Okay, so talking about you now and open words,
Spoken word.
words, what genre are you particularly into? Are you into relationships? Are you into activism? What genre are you basically on?
From my background, where I am coming from, it's natural that I'm more of an activist in spoken word poetry.
So why are you talking about VDM like that?
No, when you relate to some of this genre, it really doesn't matter which part you niched down to, right? But as long as you are in the industry, you really understand that everyone is just going in cycles. We are talking about the same thing, but from different angles. So activism is what I do, and sometimes you do touch here and touch there, but because of where I am coming from, it's just natural that activism became the part that I speak more of. Yeah.
Okay, so can you do a freestyle for us?
Yeah, eventually, that's it's tradition.
All right, so I'm all ears.
I love the mangoes, but not the story of how man goes. So before you turn a blind eye to that bad road, bad leadership, bad branding, bad packaging, bad business, just remember, say, if this quest to leave home to feed home, no finally feed home, if this career no put food on the table plus an extra change for a summer vacation, if this business no succeed, if this country doesn't succeed, if this hustle no pay, evidence no day, so we even try our best. We go explain to the next generation, city we serve go tire. So bro, no grief for anybody, like one abale, quichiring. Bro, they say who get money know they do eye service, who naked know they shoe hand for pocket, and every man know why him know they sell a sam. Bro, then say this country and shaggy na 5 and 6, all eyes done red, no cap, but it choke. So drop mic, drop dead. The only condition for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing. I said drop mic, drop dead. The only condition for evil to prevail is for good men to do nothing. So the rising and falling of empires, the making and breaking of dynasties has always rested on the shoulders of men, not gods. The J.P. Morgans, we are men, not gods. The Andrew Carnegies, we are men, not gods. The John D. Rockefellas, we are men, not God. The Nnamdi Azikiwes, we are men, not gods. For men would work, men would fight. For gods too would curse, and gods will bless. But those who would stand, dominate, and take over kingdoms would always be men, not gods. I mean, those who would stand to dominate sectors, take over kingdoms, and rule even nations would always be men,
Not
gods.
gods. Okay, so you just showed us the activism part of it, but explain that particular spoken word, because I like the melody you actually put into it. Okay, so explain the spoken word to us.
Okay, so the concept of this spoken word poem is coming from the angle where, as religious people, most Nigerians are religious per se. We believe that somewhere, somehow, a supernatural being would come to our aid.
Yeah, which is God now.
Now, this can be taken for even those that are not Christians, those that are per se the Muslims, the traditionalists and all that. Most Nigerians or most Africans believe that a supernatural being would come to their aid. Hence, they moved their responsibilities to complaining that God go run am, do your best, leave the rest for God.
Yeah.
But in reality, those who have actually made things happen had always been men,
and not God.
not gods.
That was a wonderful one.
Yeah.
An interesting one. Okay, so I have some few games to play with you before I ask you one more last question. We'll play Riddle. Why are you looking at me like that?
Riddle. Haha. This is interesting.
Okay, so what kind of band never plays music?
What kind of bands never play
Music.
This is interesting. Help me out with this one. Then.
Okay, the answer is rubber band. You didn't see that coming, right? So rubber band does not play music, but it is a band.
That's crazy.
Okay, so let me ask you the second one. What has many teeth but can't bite?
What has many teeth?
But can't bite.
You've kept me on the spotlight this afternoon, and this is not helping matters.
Sorry, think.
This is not helping
Think
matters.
critically.
riddles is not critical thinking. It's a crazy kind of thinking, because sometimes most of the things you are asked are just
Just
things you.
think. And it's very simple.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing about riddles.
So should I help you?
What else? Okay.
A comb. A comb has so many teeth, but it can never ever bite.
Don't say this lineage.
That's 0/50.
Ah, so this,
Should I ask
this
another
is, no,
one?
no, I'm not going again.
You don't want to play
I
another
don't
one?
want to play again. This is.
Okay, but let me ask you the last one. It's also simple.
Oh God. Okay.
Yes, now God will help you.
I swear. Now I need to depend on a supernatural being.
What question can you never say yes to?
What question?
Can you never answer yes to? Going.
There's always this Nigerian question. Oh God.
Should I ask? Should I help you?
I think it's what's in my head. Are you mad? No, that cannot be it.
Okay, so I should help you.
Help me again.
Are you asleep? Are you asleep yet? If you're sleeping, you cannot answer. So if you answer yes, that means you are awake. You are not sleeping.
True.
So you failed my riddles.
So this is crazy.
Okay, let's do social media abbreviation. Because, of course, you're into social media, right?
God, this is hot. This is me on a hot seat.
It's simple. It's just that,
Okay.
you know.
Abbreviations.
Yeah, social media abbreviations.
I'm not a fan of abbreviating words.
I'll give you simple ones.
Let's go.
HMU.
H
What's the full meaning of HMU?
HMU. Not a fan of abbreviation.
Oh my God. Hit me up.
Okay.
You're failing on my games.
This is
Okay, let me give you a simple one. AKA, full meaning of AKA.
also known as.
Say it with confidence.
Also known as.
Also known as correct. High five.
Okay.
Okay, so another one. FAQ.
FAQ. Oh God, this is.
Frequently asked question. So you got 1/100.
That's crazy.
No, 10/100.
That's crazy. That's
Sorry.
crazy.
Anyways, thank you so much for
I need
joining.
I need to get more in touch with reality.
You're doing more of activism and spoken
I
words. That's why.
I swear. I need to.
Okay, thank you so much, Michael, for joining me on set today. I had so much fun. I enjoy your spoken word.
Thank you very much.
Honestly.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so this is where we draw the curtain. The show is a wrap for today. Follow us on all our social media platforms. Subscribe on our YouTube channel. And join us same time tomorrow. Signature TV. I remain your baby girl, Queenette Mokonta. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.